Now, I know we wish that we could all be together right now, but it's just not possible.
Right in the middle of our life, on an ordinary day, the unthinkable happened. Everything went from ordinary to chaotic, and there I stood, in the mess of it all, knowing there will now forever be a before and an after.
First time I met Bethany was at a video party at Alan Ponce's house, and Earl was invited, and he brought his girlfriend. And now I had never met her before, and I don't think I'd even ever seen her before. I don't know how that was, but I never had. And so in walks this big, tall woman, which pretty much everybody's kind of like that, but she was this big, tall woman with this flaming red hair and these dramatic eyebrows and these huge tracts of land. And they became sort of a landing pad for me as time went on. Whenever we saw each other, Bethany would open her arms and she'd say, "Come on, Julie, bring it in." And I did. And it would be a long, lingering hug, and it felt nice. But Bethany was kind of a dichotomy. I mean, when I first met her, she was a quiet person, kind of reserved. She kind of hung out in the background. But when you started talking to her, you're like, oh. She had this sly, sort of wicked sense of humor, and I really liked that.
We took a trip down to Palm Springs to visit our friend James. We got down there. We spent the evening with him. We went back to our room. We bid each other good night. In the morning, she got up before me. She took a shower, put on her face, and she went to go get some coffee. I woke up. I went to the bathroom, and I was greeted with what could only be described as a crime scene. She had murdered the Kool-Aid man, slaughtered him, and used every available towel to clean up the mess. Every towel was stained that very trademark color of red.
Bethany and I first met in 2012 doing theater on the Delta King riverboat in Old Sac. We were members of Sacramento Musical Parody Playhouse, and the first show that we did together was a musical parody of It's a Wonderful Life. She was Mary, George Bailey's wife, and in the first half of the show, she was just this incredibly warm and kind and loving and nurturing character. And in the second half of the show, when the angel was taking George Bailey around and showing him what the world would be like without him, she turned into Crazy Mary. And she had like one stiletto and smeared lipstick, and she beat up George Bailey and the angel with her purse. And it was awesome. And she was so funny.
Bethany would volunteer to assist me whenever I was in Sacramento. And from the first time I met her, I could sense what a beautiful soul she had. We talked about movies and theater and conspired together to manage, in a loving way, some of the damaged people who came up to the autograph table needing assistance with their social anxiety. Bethany's work was flawless, perfect. I couldn't imagine having a more attentive or meticulous assistant. And even though she was trying to assume an air of professional reserve, her love came through at a subconscious level. I certainly didn't deserve that level of devotion, but what a gift she was to me, and I'm sure to dozens of others. Signed, Joe Bob.
Her passing, which appears to have been a sudden cardiac-related event, has been shocking and earth-shattering, will most definitely leave a void in all of her communities and relationships. I don't know that there is any one thing that could be said to rectify that, to make up for a future that was always meant to include her. So I turn to the cliche of what we can learn from Bethany. Live authentically. Love unapologetically and epically. If you want to do it, do it. learn improv, and always wear your sunnies. Thank you.
So I'm Bloody Bethy saying, wash your hands, wear your mask, be kind to one another, and love horror.